Do you ever have something totally epic happen to you and then you realize that you haven't been filming? Well, that's what happened to me just now. Yeah. um, so welcome back to the next episode of Deckcraft, everybody. I died. You can probably see I have a lot less XP than I did last time. How did I die, you might ask? Well, these guys, are they still? There were like 5 of them. Do they still have? Do they not have their? Did the zombies all die? But now I can't get my revenge. Oh no. Oh. That's unfortunate. Anyway, so I've already done an intro, but that's been shot because I wasn't recording because I thought I pressed the right button and I did not. And that was like an hour ago. So, Paul is still alive. Yeah, survival Paul. So, as I've already described in the intro that you'll never get to see, so you're going to have to settle for the inferior version, today we are building a dragon. You know, the kind that's kind of a tower and has like a fan on top and it spins around from the wind and you can use that to process stuff. But we're building a dragon. And a key part of the dragon, basically inside the dragon, is going to be an iron farm. And I've got to start on the iron farm. And yeah, so I had started on the iron farm and then promptly died. So I spent like an hour trying to get him in there, Survival Paul. Literally an hour doing that. And it did not work. It did not work. And then eventually I got a zombie in there, and I named him, and then I was running back. I kid you not, this is the path I took. I got all my stuff, was running, and then right here, there was a skeleton horse, and I didn't think anything of it. So, was running, jumped, thought, was that lightning? Turned around and there were a whole bunch of zombie skeleton horsemen. And then in a panic, I ran, I ducked, I weaved, I dodged, all of that stuff. And then I jumped up here to safety. Rather than going in the base, instead what I did is I decided to look right here and got shot and died. And I was not filming. A little bit of a change of scenery for you. We are now over on the creative world. If you saw Tuesday's video, this won't be terribly unfamiliar. But basically, this is my creative Minecraft world. It's old. There's stuff built. This is the Minecraft, or the redstone quadrant, the red quadrant. And this is an iron farm that I am wanting to build on Deckcraft. Okay, seriously? For what? Apparently iron golems just fly around. So, yes. This is what's going to be built on Deckcraft. This is, I'm not for sure. Like, I'm not going to say this is an original design because it's not. But I made this after watching like 30 minutes of random Minecraft iron farm tutorials. So it's kind of an amalgamation of concepts from a bunch of different people. That does not mean that it's a good amalgamation. This might be a terrible iron farm, but I'm going to build it nonetheless. And, yeah, there's going to be some slight changes on Deckcraft itself. Like, for instance, I'm going to change where the zombie is in relation to the iron golem water. So basically this killing chamber is going to be over here now, somewhere. And a couple of other little changes. And then, of course, there's going to be the dragon built around it as well. So a couple of little changes. Again, this is not an original farm, but it's kind of a combination of watching a bunch of people's farms and thinking I could do that. So I guess I'll give Waddles credit if I have to give anybody credit. But, you know, I think his design is probably a lot better if you search his iron farm. Anyway, I'm not making a tutorial on this because it's probably not very good, but you know, here's what we're building. So then if we know where the iron farm is going to be over there by Survival Paul, I think I'm going to put the kelp farm right here and build it into the sort of temple complex at the center. Today I'm just going to do a very quick and dirty version of the farm. There's not going to be all that much super, like, decorative about it. I think I'm literally just going to use cobblestone for pretty much the entire thing. But, as sort of apology for that, later on, once I have the decorative blocks that I want to actually build the temple, from there, I think that I will be able to sit down and actually make, like, the decorative thing for the world, if you will. The main bits of the map. No, I don't want to do that. That was very dumb. So, slight snag in the situation. Time to sleep, first off. There's 4 villagers over in this village. If you remember episode 1, we found it. I looted it. It was very cool. I brilliantly bested an iron golem in combat with no struggle whatsoever. That guy was a nitwit, and I can't use a nitwit. But there's 2 villagers right here, and there's a villager right here. So in theory, if I can scoop these villagers up, put them on rails, and bring them all the way over here, heading this way, and then I can get them up here, and I can get them doing this, and then I can get them here, and they can go here. And all of that, all the way in here. And this is like the perfect scenario that I can get all of the villagers from over there to here. There's a slight problem. There's always a slight problem. In this case, the slight problem is that I only have 32 regular rails and 4 powered. So I've realized I don't want to try to build a railroad system. And I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to entice them through the power of work. I think if I pull like they do, I think if I grab one of these workstations, I ought to be able to trick the villagers to get here. By being like, hey, yo, I got work for ya. All ya has to do is, you know, come work for me and all your problems will be solved. Ow. So far, so good. He is following, and I'm doing it just like this. Then I put it over here. Then I destroy any workstations he may have found. And then he runs. And then I remove it, and I say, hey there, bud. Got work right here. This is a genius system, provided the sun stays where it's supposed to. Success! 1 down, just a few more to go. And I have these guys. So, hopefully, I'll be able to get the next 2 pretty easily. Although I think I'm going to wait for it to be day before I do that. So against all odds, we now have our 3 villagers. And I, for one, am shocked that we've made it this far. So I'm just gonna block them off. Make it to where nothing can get to them. And, yeah. We have done it. Oh no, I need to light. Uh-oh. Oh, there is one thing that I need to do. I need light. Yeah. Okay. So now no zombies will spawn in there. I also need a bell. I think a bell helps. Just because then I think a bell signifies that it is, in fact, a village. So I am going to grab a bell, because I think I have one. But yeah, now that we have all the villagers there, we'll need to still make a, like the actual farm. We'll need to make it to where iron golems can't spawn anywhere around the farm except where we want them to. But that should be doable for the most part, I think. But yeah, we're most of the way there now, and I'm amazed that we've made it this far. The spawner definitely works, and there have been a few mishaps. I don't want to talk about it. Alright, now that we've got the farm spawning a surprising number of golems. I've killed 1 or 2. Now I'm going to lay out the foundation of the dragon. Eventually it won't be funny for me to say I'm building a dragon when I'm clearly building a windmill. But, I feel like it's that Family Guy skit where Peter, like, skins his knee and is doing the for an absurdly long time. Eventually it starts being funny again. And this wasn't a really funny joke to begin with, so I'm hoping that the humor scales up with each, the longer that it goes. Also, getting fairly good at this. I say as I flub it. Anyway, yeah, so there's going to be a fairly large platform for this. I feel like it's going to wind up being relatively big in terms of, like, windmill foundations. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Yeah, I feel like it won't be a small guy, but it should be pretty cool, I guess. In case you don't know, the spawn radius for an iron golem is an 8-block radius around the village center, which is usually the bell. Now I have a bell right here, so I'm calling that the village center, and I'm just kind of building the village around it. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I can do that, and I am going to sleep. Wait, is he mad at me? No, okay. Was worried there for a minute. I disagree with that, Death. That golem got me from 3 blocks up. I'm sure it was a glitch, but right now I feel cheated. I dumped my stuff off, but I heard noises. It sounds like it's working. I think we've got it to work. Also, cleaning the inventory until the next golem inevitably kills me. But, yeah. I think she's working. Maybe. Man, I need to bring the hill out a little more. Because this thing is huge. I should have built it down like another block. Maybe? Haha! Why is it? Anyway. Let's just kind of see if there's anything dying. Because I don't see any golems around. Nowhere that I look are there more golems. So that's definitely for the best. There's none down here, are there? No. Okay. Maybe they don't spawn during the day as much? Anyway, yeah. I think it's done. I think by making this path block where we have... I think that is kind of fixed it to a level that it does, in fact, function now. At least somewhat well. So I think success. And there wasn't any iron in there earlier. So I do believe that it's now working fine. Which is good, because this was a lot of work. Should I clean that up? Should I replace that with stone? This block? I'm tempted, but also I don't want to. So I probably won't. Darn. Anyway, I'm going to sit here a while. I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to listen for the sound of golems being burned alive. And hopefully they are. And then I can film, I can catch it on camera. It works! I think it works way, way better at nighttime, if I'm being honest, than the day, because I was here all day and not a single golem spawned. But yeah, apparently nighttime is where it's at. So, I think... Oh, there's another one. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So yeah. It seems I'm running home now that I know that it works. It seems that sometimes the iron golems can get stuck. That's a lot of mobs. Sometimes they can get stuck in the walls when they first spawn in. And so they take a little damage from that, and then eventually they get themselves out. And once they've done that... Was that a creeper? Yeah, it seems like once they get themselves out of the wall, then the water kind of takes them down, and they drop down and burn again, and that's where they actually die. So, we're making decent progress here, all things considered. That was a creeper. Aww. Oh, it blew a hole in my fake floor. Oh, that's unfortunate. Anyway, now that we have that done, I think... Guys, I think I'm gonna have to call it for today. Ow, where am I? Okay. This is why you don't film an entire video at this perspective, because it gets messy. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to call it for today. Well, I was gonna say guys, but ladies and gentlemen, because honestly, this was a lot of work. This took way longer than I wanted to. When I first started planning for this episode, I was like, I'm gonna do so much. I'm gonna build an iron farm, I'm gonna build a kelp farm, and I'm gonna build the dragon. And you see, I wonder if that's... He has to be stuck in the wall. No, he's not. Huh. Well, anyway. And it looks like you get about 4 ingots per golem. So if you get... If you get 16 golems spawning a night, that's a stack of iron every night. I don't think it's going to be that good a spawn rate. But, you know, I would honestly take 24 iron a night rather than anything else. And also, this doesn't need to be the fastest farm ever. Like, I am not looking for the best iron farm that's ever farmed here, obviously, because this is pretty jank. But yeah, I'm happy with getting just a steady, respectable stream of iron coming. And I'll let you know next episode how well it's doing. But speaking of next episode, yeah, guys, this is it. I need to do other stuff, and I just don't have the time to finish all of the things that I wanted to do this episode, which is kind of a bummer, but on the other hand, not unexpected either. Yeah, that ought to do her. But yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy with the progress that has been made. Because, you know, we have an actual farm now for the first time in this series. And we have the starting point of a windmill. So, dragon. So, and I don't think it looks that bad as a platform. Yeah, it's a little bit big, but I don't think it's so big that it's obnoxious. That it's like, oh my goodness, why is that so big kind of thing, you know? So I'm happy with the size that we have there, for the most part. So, the technology really let me down, like in a big way. There's the Steam Deck that I record all the stuff on. There's the monitor. It's being used for other purposes now, because I was editing on an iPad that I'm now filming on. So that explains the crunchy video. But, yeah, my last video clip, my conclusion was corrupted. And I don't feel like recording that again. So this is what you're getting. This very crunchy iPad recording that I'm then gonna splice into the video maybe by way of conclusion. But yeah, anyway, to conclude, Let's see, what do we conclude? Iron Farm works. Kelp Farm doesn't exist. Dragon doesn't exist yet, but will exist next episode. Because why do something today that you can put off tomorrow? Eh? Eh? So yeah, that's what's going on. Basically, the technologically logic let me down, and now we're doing this. We're getting dank pods with it. Except one hand and worse accent.